Hello guys and girls, welcome back to another episode on the Falcon YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing great and you've had a great week. Looking forward to this episode, probably one of the most common questions that get sent in on a regular basis. And I've been taking my time to answer this one purely just because we're so focused right now. Business end of the year, there's so much to do and it's really, really exciting. But I thought this would be a good question to cover. And the reason as to why is because most people aren't asking that question. It's a mindset shift, right? We have to address the mindset. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to just showcase to you the important type of mindset that you need coming into this space, whether you're trading Forex, whether you're trading stocks, it doesn't matter. If you're in the trading industry as a whole, coming in with the mindset of how much can I make isn't always the right question. And I'm gonna help phrase that in this episode. So I thought I'd just give you a quick screen share. I actually have Kiwi Dollar on watch at the moment today, but I will just go over very briefly, just using simple numbers and simple figures as to what you can expect to make, what's possible, and then at the same time, what is your viewpoint? What should you be doing and how should you be thinking about it? Because it's not about how you're trading now, it's how are you going to trade in a year from now, 2 years, 3, 5, 10, etc. So let's take a look. So let's say, for example, you're coming into the trading space and you've got access to, I don't know, £10,000 account, and let's get this on there. So let's say you've got £10,000 account, and your average return is, let's go with 10% per month. Now, don't get me wrong, 10% per month is not easy. That doesn't happen straight away. You've got a lot of months and hours and time to get to that stage. But let's say throughout the whole year, you average out 10% per month, right? So you're averaging about £1,000, right? We're not thinking about compound at this stage. If you're going to compound your account, then you can go on Google, type in compound interest calculator, and you can see how that compounds. So for the sake of this example, I'm just using simple figures. So let's say, for example, you're making £1,000 per month. You might be thinking, well, I can't live on £1,000 per month. Most people can't. However, that's just the small start of it. It's not about how much you're making right now. It's about your percentage of what you're making and then what money do you have access to. So if we just then go up the scale, so let's say, for example, you get really good and then you get an investment. We're in a day and age now where you can get investment everywhere, third-party investors, you name it. So let's say, for example, we'll go 50K, right? And you're making, again, 10% per month. And you are now averaging a full-time wage. And if you're in the UK, a very, very good full-time wage for most people doing the average job. You know, you realize that if you could make £5,000 a month working from your laptop, working from trading your capital, most people would, you know, bite your arm off for that. So it's about understanding that, you see how it starts to scale up. On 10K, maybe not so much, but it's not about that. It's not about what you have access to now, it's what you can have access to in the future. And then we go to the higher ends, right? We go towards the six figures. So let's say, for example, now you go to, let's say you scaled your account. You might have even scaled your 50K account up to 100. And then you're still making on average 10% per month, right? So 10% per month. And now at this stage, you are making 10K per month. Now, let me ask you, if you had 10K per month, I'd be curious to see what you'd spend it on. How would you ratio that? Would you invest a certain amount? Would you, and the reason why I'm asking you this question is, see, if you don't think like this from now, that was natural, that was tip of the tongue, natural for me to think like that. But if you're just thinking, how much can I make? Oh, 100K account, that would be nice, 10% per month, 10K a month, what could I spend that on? Already you're gonna push it further away. See, what happens is that the market almost sniffs out desperation. So the more you focus and chase the money, the further it will push it away. So it's about having that framework now is really important. So if you're making 10K a month on average, what are you doing with that? Are you compounding all of it, putting all in your account? Are you taking 20% out to pay yourself, let's say every period of time? And then are you investing another 20% in somewhere else and building a different asset? Really, really important. And remember, it's important that you focus on becoming the asset, right? Because if you focus on becoming the asset, that's how you build long-term growth. And you best focus on becoming the asset or you'll just end up someone's liability very quickly. And we've seen it in this day and age now. You know, you don't want to become someone's liability when they think about, right, well, we don't need that person anymore. You want to be a very valuable asset. And this is one of the skill sets that's going to give you that longer term. So 10K, 50K, 100K, simple figures. If you're just starting out in Forex, you might be saying, well, Mark, I don't have access to even 10K or 50K or 100K. In this industry, that's small figures. When you start off, you think it's big, but once you come into it, I've got good news for you. You don't need to worry about what you've got access to right now. All you need to focus on is getting good education and showing consistency, and people will throw money at you. That's the most important thing. That's the beautiful thing about this industry. So if you're someone out there right now, I wouldn't even think about what you've got access to. I'd be thinking on how can I get the best skill? How can I get my processes in place? And how can I just know that I can do it? Because most people, you know, if you gave them 100K tomorrow, they'd probably reject it. Most people, they want it. They fantasize over this idea of, oh, if only I had, you know, 200K, then I could make it work. Yet if you gave it to them tomorrow, they wouldn't be ready. Most people are not ready for consistency to trade at that level yet. So focus on becoming consistent, becoming the asset first, and then the money will come as a side effect. So that's just on simple figures there. And then what I want you to think about now is that how have you been viewing Forex? Are you a brand new beginner watching this video for the first time? You've typed in on YouTube, how can I make money in Forex? And you know, that's a pretty reasonable question. However, it doesn't work like that. Because in trading, if you're new to this, by the way, you're trading with an edge. So you're trading with a risk model. So what we trade with is we're risking 1% per account, right? So if we're risking 1% per trade, and then on 10K, we're looking at 100, right? And then on 50K, we'll do 50K, we're risking, what's the symbol? There it is, near enough. Right, so you're risking 500, and then on your 100K account, you're risking 1,000, right? So when you're focusing on these parts, this is really, really important, because what most people don't realize is that they don't understand that you need a risk model in place and not play with the numbers. Most people think that as long as I'm just risking low percentages, that'll be fine. You know, if it looks like a good trade, I'll risk more. If I'm not too confident, I'll risk less. As a cocktail for disaster. We're dealing with probabilities. And for those of you traders that have been trading for a while, if you haven't already, which I'd be shocked if you haven't, if you read Trading in the Zone. Trading in the Zone should be right there always. It should be in your mind, you should be ingrained into your subconscious mind. And just understand that if you go over these books over and over again, that's where it's going to ingrain. You can't read Trading in the Zone once. So let me know if you read it in your thoughts, by the way, but you can't read it once and then just expect to know it. But in particular, chapter 7. Chapter 7 is thinking in probabilities. So this is the part that I want to get you used to. You want to be thinking probabilities when you're taking these trades, because let's say on your 10K account, you're risking just £100 per trade. Doesn't seem that much. When you're on a 50K account, you're risking £500 per trade, right? Because it's 1% of the 50K. And then the same for the 100K, you're just risking £1,000. Now, it's important that you understand that and not play with the numbers, because let's say, for example, you decide that you want to risk, I don't know, the trade feels really good, and you decide I'm going to risk 5%, and this is on the £100,000 account, right? So you're now risking, this is a really important lesson, you're risking £5,000, right? Because you think all of it lines up, it meets tick, 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 perfect, let's take the trade. And then guess what? That one becomes a loss. The same person on the 100K account risked what they should have done, which is 1,000. Both taking the same trade. Someone's got a £5,000 loss, someone's got a £1,000 loss. The person who's got a £5,000 loss, what do you think they're doing? What's their psychology? Trying to claw it all back. Trying to claw it all back, revenge trading, then doubling up, and you can see how people start to lose. So the question here is not how much can I make trading Forex, it's how can I get my process in place where I can be following a system and an edge that will return me profit consistently over a duration of a period of time, whether that be 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, let's call it 12 months. As soon as you've got that, then how much you can make is a reflection of how much money you have. So it's got nothing to do with how much can you make. What you make is a side effect of what you have. But it doesn't matter what you have unless you've got the skill set in the first place. This is why you have to come in focusing on becoming the asset. So let's say, for example, you get to a point where you're making, 10% on average per month, and you work your way up and you get towards, let's say, 300K, right? This was one of my scary investments for the very first time. So let's say you get to 300K. Now when you're at this level and you're making 10% per average, right? You're making 10% per month. You are on average of 30K, right? Now, most of you, I'm sure you can think about how you'd want to spend 30K. You probably dream about it, but you will get to a point where it becomes very, very normal. And then you start to lose the attachment towards the money. Not completely, because we always understand the value of money, but you don't become so involved in that. But in order for you to get to this stage, if you've not built the mental framework and you've not put everything in place, you will find a way to mess that up, which is why people that are so focused on getting funded, they give it back. The statistics are there for a reason, that most people that are funded don't really keep it that long. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So if you're going to go down that route, sometimes a better option is to actually secure an investor, someone that you can have a long-term relationship that's not fixated on being forced to make certain returns. You know, whatever suits your personality. There's lots of good ways there. And should you go to get funded, of course, it's an incredible stepping stone. But at the same time, longer term, you've got to think about your mental health. You've got to think about the emotional roller coaster. I'm only going off of feedback from so many students that I've seen that have done well from it, but then they've not really had the best emotional side of things. And longer term, you want something that is not having you stressed all the time trying to force things to the market. Because you can take the best trade in the world in terms of criteria, but it doesn't have to win. It could be a loss, but it's your edge over time. So what I want you to be thinking about, guys and girls, is I want you to be thinking about when you're coming into this space, whether it's stocks, whether it's Forex, and not how much can I make, it's how can I put myself in a position to be the asset, learn the skill, become the asset, be returning a positive return every single month on average or over the duration of the year, and then how much money can I get access to? What partnerships can I build? How can I get funded, for example? What investors can I reach out to? And then is how much you can make as a side effect of that. Let's say even if you only end on 50% over the whole year, but then you've secured yourself a £500,000 investment. You do the maths. Can you live off of that? Of course you can. So it's about understanding that when you come in with the right mindset, that is the most important part. And I wanted to address this topic, you know, just a simple thing here on the charts, but more so, as you can see, that the undertone to this, which I want you to take this away from, how you've been trading right now. Let's say you've been trading for a while and maybe you've been so focused on the money that it's actually causing you to go the other way. I'm hoping this is just more thought-provoking for you to start to, a bit of a wake-up call, so you can start to think, right, have I been focusing on the money too much, or should I now shift that to, right, am I taking ownership of the level of effort that I'm putting in? Have I really, really studied the material that I'm studying? Have I really put the hours in, or have I just coasted on by and I'm getting frustrated why I haven't got the results? So start to get brutally honest with yourself, and then it becomes incredibly empowering. The reason why I'm telling you this is because, like I said, it's not about how much you can make, it's about how can you become the asset. The money will come as a side effect of how much you have access to. That's why no one in the world could tell you how much you could make. It's a reflection of what your account balance is. And the reflection of your account balance will be the reflection of the skill set and the hard work and patience and persistence that you put in. So I hope this gives you an insight into that. I hope everybody is trading safely, of course, sensibly. At Falcon, we risk 1% per trade. So at the moment, one of the things that we're looking at is actually Kiwi dollar. So looking for some selling opportunities on this pair. And there's so much in the markets right now. It really is. As I've said, business end of the year, look at the momentum. Momentum is kicking in constantly. So I'm excited for that across the board, but just wanted to answer that question in a little bit of a different way. I hope you found this insightful, valuable, and taking away the important parts I've spoken about. I wish, when I started off, I wish someone said to me, just, you know, tapped me on the shoulder, said, Mark, look, forget about this, you know, focusing on making £1,000 here, £300 there. Just focus on learning everything, getting the right mind framing work, get your goal setting down, get all of this done so you're in a position of strength. And then once you have the skill set and you're making a decent return, whether it's 10%, 5% per month, 4% per month, even at 3 and 4% per month, it's powerful stuff that can't be sniffed at. And then what you get access to will be a side effect of that. That would have been just like mind-blowing, a big mental shift. And you don't realize it until you step out of it and you've gone through it and you've broken through. You realize, why was I focusing on how much I can make all the time? That pushed it further away. So hope you find this insightful, guys, and you have an incredible weekend. Of course, let me know your number one takeaway if you've fallen into this trap where you've constantly focused on the money and what you did to break out from it. Guys and girls, have an incredible weekend wherever you are in the world. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We have a very, very exciting series coming very soon. So I want to make sure that you're in the loop always, and some giveaways in the works as well. So make sure that you don't miss out. Guys and girls, enjoy your weekend, and I will catch you all very soon. Take care, everyone.